Another sellout crowd at the Northlands Coliseum. They hope to see their Oilers win their second consecutive Stanley Cup. And in tonight's game, they'll be going against a new goaltender, Bob Froese of the Flyers. He'll be the starter for Philadelphia. Hello again, everyone, with Ron Roosh, Dan Kelly. That's the big news. Pelle Lindbergh, because of a knee injury, is out for this game and the rest of the series. Bob Froese gets the start. What's that mean to Philadelphia, and what's it mean as far as the Oilers in their strategy, Ron?
Well, Dan, we've talked quite a great deal about the goaltending and the switches that have been made in goal by Coach Mike Keenan. It's a change of atmosphere. This is not a bad goaltender. Bob Froese would be a starting goaltender on most teams. He's had his problems with injuries this year, but he's now back in, healthy, and they're hoping that he can carry this team. He's going to have to. Many people have said if Bob Froese is the first star of this game, then it advances. If he's not, probably the series won't go on.
He's a little bit different style, more of a flopper than Pelle Lindbergh. Meanwhile, this young Philadelphia team, they're facing elimination. They're such a young group, you wonder if they'd be nervous, uptight. What are your thoughts?
Well, we're going to find out. I think in the first 5 minutes of this game, we're going to know exactly how they're going to play. The question is, the stratosphere that they're in, the area that they didn't expect to be in when they started the season, how are they going to react? Are they going to be uptight, or are they just not going to really feel where they are and play it very loosely? It'll be a question to be answered very early here.
And Glenn Sather just hopes his Oilers are relaxed. They do their thing and they're not uptight. Another tremendous standing ovation here at the Northlands Coliseum. This is the building in which the Oilers won the Stanley Cup a year ago in 5 games over the New York Islanders. They're trying to do the same this evening to these young upstart Philadelphia Flyers who came from nowhere to win the Prince of Wales Division Championship. And now the national anthem here in Edmonton. And it features Larry Gatlin.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing as Mr. Paul Lorio sings and Mr. Richard Brewer plays our national anthem.
With flowing hearts we
national anthem, and we're ready for Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final. Brian Lewis, the referee, Ron Finn and Leon Stickle, the two linesmen.
And the goaltenders for tonight's game. There's Bob Froese. His nickname is Frosty. He's a winner. He was 13-2 on the regular season, but he had a lot of injuries. And there's Grant Fuhr, number one star of Game 4 on Tuesday night after key saves helped the Oilers come back. He's in his fourth NHL season, and certainly he is playing far beyond his years here in the NHL.
Peter Zezel steps in to face off against Mark Messier. Brian Lewis, as we mentioned, the referee. And Game 5 is underway, and Zezel controls immediately and dumps it in. Lee Fogelin, number 2, back for Edmonton. Being watched by Tocchet and Zezel as the Flyers tried to send in 2 men, but now here is Messier to Mark Napier, number 18. Froese sets it up for Brad Marsh. Shot out to Zezel, and they rule one off an Edmonton player on the way down. There's no icing. Here is Kevin Lowe. Intercepting it is Joe Patterson. Messier tied him up. Now Tocchet into pin Fogelin against the boards, but Messier gets free. Number 11, Mark Messier. Drop pass to Glenn Anderson. Shot. Deflected off the Flyer defense, and it went high. Here's Messier. Back to Don Jackson. Kick save by Froese. Held in by Jackson, and it was not held in. They ruled it just came outside the blue line, and the face-off after the offside will be at the Philadelphia blue line.
Well, the Philadelphia Flyers are plagued with injuries. Tim Kerr out with an injury, along with goaltender Pelle Lindbergh. Also not dressed for tonight's game, Len Hackborn. Lindsey Carson not dressed as well. Ray Allison, who played the other night, not dressed. And rested in the lineup for tonight's game, big 6'5" Dave Brown. So some changes made by that man, Mike Keenan, who tries to get some life into his team here with their backs to the wall.
He says his young team is in a good mood and a good spirit coming into this game. They're not down at all. We'll see. Here's Ed Hospodar, flipping one to the Edmonton zone, and going back is number 21, Randy Gregg. Shot to center, Hospodar intercepting there, and now Brown almost gets into it with Jackson, and they have to be separated by the linesman.
Well, they exchanged spears just inside the blue line. Big Dave Brown, of course, is a big tough kid, led the American Hockey League in penalties a couple of years ago, so they're off, and we'll get our first penalties.
From Edmonton, the Stanley Cup Final on CTV. The face-off is coming up just outside the Philadelphia blue line. No score. Edmonton's had 2 shots on goal. Philadelphia 1. It's Messier with Napier and Anderson for Edmonton. Zezel centering a Flyer line with Sinisalo on one wing. And over on the other wing, it is Patterson. It's centered. Here's Patterson taking it away for Philadelphia. Number 28, Joe Patterson to Sinisalo. Sinisalo ridden out by Jackson, who is able to clear it. And Mark Howe outraces Anderson to the puck. Shot it into the center ice area. Sinisalo quickly getting it to Zezel. Over to Patterson. Number 28, Joe Patterson to Peter Zezel. Into Patterson, but in ahead on the left side, offside, was Ilka Sinisalo.
There's Joe Patterson, who's had a pretty good Stanley Cup after spending most of the year in the minor leagues. The Oilers have an unbeaten home streak in the Stanley Cup going right now, 15 consecutive. Their last loss was back in 1984 in the Smythe Division Finals against Calgary, April 18th, when Calgary came in here and beat Edmonton 5-4. During that string down, they have outscored their opponents 90-38. That's what you face when you come in this building.
And they don't want to go back to a building where the Flyers have been equally as good, or almost so.
Well, they landed a long streak by the Flyers at home in the last trip in there.
Gretzky now out on the ice, Crucial Niski, and Curry, his wingers. Going to be Poulin with Tocchet on the right side. And over on the left side, Brian Krupp. Here's Brad Marsh firing it in. Charlie Huddy back. Poulin stole it. Unable to center it, and here comes Gretzky. Krushelnyski on his left. He tried to give it to him. Crossman then taken out by Krushelnyski. Dave Poulin clearing it to Prop. Held in by Curry, and then as Curry tried to sweep it in, it came into the center ice area. Gretzky dropping it back into his own end, and here's Paul Coffey to Mike Krushelnyski. Rink wide to Jari Curry. Now to Gretzky. Rose lets it go. Crossman there to get it. Beating one, and Prop is able to tip it to center. And Paul Coffey has it again for Edmonton. That's Poulin in forechecking, but it goes to Krushelnyski. Now to number 22, Charlie Huddy. Huddy shoots. Stick save there by Rose. Then Rose knocked away a centering pass by Huddy. Flyers can't clear it. Here's Curry. Back to Huddy. Shot. Rose went down and got a piece of that. Gretzky almost tipped it in. Now Curry.
Record for goals scored equaling Reg Leach with his 19th. He's been in a slump in this series, and Gretzky, who else, set him up.
Jari Curry, his 19th goal to the playoffs, and Edmonton takes a 1-0 lead. And now the Flyers, just as they were ready to drop the puck, decide to make a last-minute change. Zezel and Sinisalo are out there, and now Patterson comes out. For Edmonton, it's going to be McClellan, Lindstrom, and Hunter. Here's Hospodar for the Flyers. Clearing one, Lee Fogelin knocks it down, shot it in, and Hospodar has it for Philadelphia. Passing to Mark Howe. Howe against Fogelin, shot right on, rebound. Patterson hit the side of the net. Muir stopped the first one, but Patterson's shot hit the side of the net. And now the puck held against the boards, and we get a stoppage and a face-off coming up in the Edmonton zone. The scoring play, Jari Curry, there you see him, is 19th of the playoffs. Gretzky and Huddy get the assists. 4:54 was the time.
Well, a good chance here for Patterson as he goes in one-on-one on Fogelin. Now the first shot deflected. Muir had to be very quick. The rebound then came off the side of the net, as perhaps a little rushed on the play was Patterson. Here it is again. The pad. Now out it comes again. Muir, because he had to get into a position he didn't want to be making that save, was a little off balance as the return shot came in from Patterson, but he missed the net. Well, that all-important first goal, Dan, and it has gone Edmonton's way. Curry is 19th. When Reg Leach scored 19 goals in that playoff year, the Flyers lost to the Canadiens in the finals, but Reg Leach, because of the 19 goals, wound up with the Conn Smythe Trophy.
Here from the face-off is Fogelin, winding it to Lindstrom. He missed it. Mark Howe held it in. Shot blocked in front of the net by Fogelin and cleared to center. Hospodar cleared it. Now Messier feeding Lindstrom. Lindstrom scores! Willie Lindstrom!
Lets it go. I think that was a stoppable shot, Dan. Low to the stick side of Bob Throws. Here it comes again. Right along the ice. Those difficult shots to handle. And it's 2-0. And they're starting to celebrate early here in Edmonton.
Willie Lindstrom's 5th goal of the playoffs. And the Flyers facing elimination. Now quickly behind in this game. Kevin Lowe shot it in. This is Brad Marsh for the Flyers. Winding it around on left wing, and it comes to center ice where Hunter goes back for Edmonton. To Fogelin, who tipped it in. Marsh is there to Crossman. Headmanning it to Derek Smith. He's shot from behind in the play, and that put the play offside. From Edmonton, the Stanley Cup Final on CTV.
Willie Lindstrom has picked up 3 goals in this series alone. He's the only multi-goal scorer outside of Wayne Gretzky in the series. And here he comes in as he fights the check off and then lets that good snapshot go low into the corner. Messier, the only assist at 5:31.
Philadelphia with Poulin, Kropp, and Craven up front. Here's Brad Marsh, who's on the Flyer defense, trying to clear it in. Broken up by Edmonton, and Crossman will try again. He dumps it in. Randy Gregg hustling back, but Rick Tocchet, or Craven it is, gets there first to Dave Poulin. Shooting one, pure. Made the save, and I don't think he ever saw the shot. Now send it to Poulin. Knocked away. Here's Craven, a drive. High off the glass. And Marsh unable to hold it in. Now shot it in, and here comes Messier for Edmonton. Getting it to Glenn Anderson. Back to Messier. Drop pass that is intercepted and cleared out of there by Philadelphia. Jackson trying to clear it back in. Does, but Crossman for the Flyers. Over onto the far wing, and Kropp feeds it ahead to Crossman, to Marsh, who tipped it in. Here's Paul Coffey. Coffey, perfect pass to Curry. Curry to Krushelnyski. Mike Krushelnyski giving it to Gretzky. Dropping it to Huddy. Shooting, and that deflects off a Flyer wide. Back comes Rick Sutter, number 15. Over to Mark Howe. Howe shot off the stick of Huddy and high. Now Krushelnyski trying to work it loose. Smith held it in. Big save. Rick Sutter scores! Rick Sutter on the rebound after Pure had made the initial save.
Well, sometimes I think you can be a little too aggressive, and Charlie Huddy got running around in the zone. Here's a good skate save, but then Rich Sutter just held it, and then waited until it was clear and tossed it into the net. Now watch Coffey, number 7, trying to come in, trying to find somebody. They tried to throw somebody in. That was Huddy trying to block it right in front of the net, and there's nothing they could do as, again, Pure was completely out of position to make any save on the rebound.
And Huddy had lost his stick, so he was at a disadvantage. The scoring play. Rich Sutter, his second to the playoffs. Derek Smith, the assist, 7:23 the time. And the Flyers answer right back and say, we're not dead yet. One shot in by Philadelphia, low, now clears to Lindstrom. Ahead to Hunter. Dave Hunter dropping one over. Now it's shot over onto the other wing, and Hospodar takes over for Philadelphia. He just slides the puck into the Edmonton zone. Lee Fogelin, number 2, taking over for the Oilers. Now to Kevin Lowe, ahead to Hunter. Hunter rink wide for Lindstrom, who dumps it in. Throws behind the goal. Sets it up for Crossman. Flyers clear it. Don Jackson carried back in. That play is offside at the Philadelphia blue line.
Rich Tocchet, let's talk a little bit about that line, which has been the main force for the Flyers in the last 2 games, and that's the 2 Sutters along with Derek Smith, and there they are again as they capitalize on a mistake deep in the zone. The Sutters, you're used to that. They're aggressive. They'll get in there. They'll stir it up, and that's what they did. Mark Howe started it all by going in deep and jamming up against the boards with Charlie Huddy, and that's where he lost his stick, and it presented the opportunity, and this time the Flyers didn't miss on it.
Here's Dvorak giving it to Poulin, who fires it off the boards down the ice. Don Jackson back to get it. This will be an icing call against Philadelphia. Brad, your thoughts on the first 9 minutes of this game?
Well, I think Philadelphia really came out strong. They came out hitting, being very physical, started to take the play away from the Oilers. But the thing that's really been kind of interesting is none of these goals have worked out from picture plays like a 2-on-1 rush or a 3-on-2. It's both teams have been swarming and the other team's in, and it's resulted in goals and confusion.
Good thing or a bad thing, Brad? I don't know whether this is the kind of hockey that Edmonton really wants to play.
It's definitely the kind of hockey that Edmonton wants to play because they've got a lot of guys that can put the puck in the net. Philadelphia does not have that reputation. I think they would like to tighten it up a little bit more and keep the physical stuff going.
Good example of that when you look at the scoring with Tim Kerr out of the lineup. The Flyers' top goal getter is Kropp with 7. And, of course, you look to Edmonton with Curry with 19, Gretzky with 16. Here's Rick Sutter, wide by about a foot with that shot. Derek Smith to Ron Sutter. Jackson checked in. Howe centered, but Lindstrom intercepts. Number 19, Willie Lindstrom. Shoots. Rose just got a piece of that. He wasn't sure where it went, but fortunately for he, it went to the corner. Now Garrett Smith hit the side of the net, and now we're going to get a penalty as McClellan and Hospodar got tied up in the corner, and a penalty coming up here against McClellan. From Edmonton, the Stanley Cup Final on CTV.
One thing you don't want to do if you're the Philadelphia Flyers is lose your cool, and 3-on-2s are the last thing in the world you need against the Edmonton Oilers very early in a hockey game. And this was the 3-on-2. That's Gretzky. Tried to feed it into the slot. It was deflected away, but the trailer on the play was Randy Gregg, and he leaned into it, but Froze was right there with a clear path towards the shot. Saw it all the way.
Here's Messier against Ron Sutter, deep in the Flyers zone. No one really wins the faceoff. Finally, it comes to Gregg. Into the corner for Anderson. Tried to center one. Ron Sutter gets it to Rich Sutter. He drops it to Howe. Now back to Rich Sutter. That pass goes the length of the ice. Gregg back for the Oilers. And this is an icing call against Philadelphia. 7:58 left in period one. It's 2-1 for Edmonton.
Well, they just turned 30 a couple of days ago. Mark Howe. And he has had a very good playoff as well. He's undermanned, of course. His defense partner hurt back in the last series in the collision with Wilt Paymaw in the Quebec series. Brad McCrimmon is here. He's been watching the games from the stands after a shoulder operation. Howe continues to play well.
Another faceoff coming up in the Philadelphia zone, and now a late change by the Oilers. Brad, any other observations so far in this first period?
I think it's very interesting that the Flyers really can't afford to make any bad turnovers deep in the Edmonton end, because that's how they got the 3-on-2. If you can't make a good play when you're deep in the Edmonton end, you better just hold it until everybody gets organized.
Here's Krushelnyski on a faceoff, winning the draw, but the Flyers come up with it, and Peter Zezel, number 25, dumps it in. Here's Smith, but it's knocked away by Huddy, and the puck goes up into the crowd.
Well, you look at Charlie Huddy there, the Oilers. He had 3 points very quietly the other night against the Flyers, a goal and 2 assists. One of those free agent signings that you're seeing so much in the National Hockey League now, undrafted players. Many of them are late bloomers that go through the 18 and 19-year-old draft. They've been playing in college. They come along and, like the Dave Poulins and so on, bloom a little later and wind up stars in the NHL anyway.
Here's Zezel trying to center one. Huddy takes over for Edmonton. Trying to get it to Coffey. Dvorak get pinched in. Now Curry comes back to help out to Coffey. Coffey was rushed, so he just cleared it. Crossman shooting it right back in. Charlie Huddy. Off the boards. Crossman knocking it down to Zezel. Huddy blocked it. Zezel centered again. Messier knocked it away, and here's Huddy again. Now Dave Poulin is the Flyers. Voracek comes to Crossman. Crossman, a backhander, blocked at the defense. Now again, Philadelphia's prop clearing it. Huddy shoots it right back out as the Flyers really had the Oilers bottled up there with some very aggressive forechecking. Now it's Krushelnyski. Just shot it off the boards. Dvorak flipping it back out. Gretzky takes over, drops it to Coffey. Now into Krushelnyski around Crossman, but Ron Sutter came back to disturb him, and he shot it wide. Prop, quick outlet pass to Rich Sutter. Off the mark, Jackson shoots it away for Edmonton. Now it's Jonas Eriksson, number 27, in the Flyer lineup tonight, and seeing as his first action of this game. Shot it in, the Oilers control it and come right back up. Here's McClellan. Howe ties him up. Smith gets it for Philadelphia. Derek Smith to Eriksson. Eriksson checking. Here is Hunter for the Oilers. Hunter centered. McClellan missed it. Had another chance for Lindstrom, but a stick save by Froze. Eriksson then clearing it away. Back is Randy Gregg to Lindstrom. Now to Hunter. Eriksson bumps him off the puck, and Mark Howe has it for the Flyers. Lowe held it in. Flyers, Eriksson gets another chance, clears it away. Under 6 minutes left in the first period. It's 2-1 in favor of Edmonton. Number 4 is Kevin Lowe. Now to Fogelin. Shot it down the ice. They rule it went off a flyer, so there's no icing. Now Crossman to Marsh. Into the center ice area for Patterson. Tried to get it to Craven. He missed it, but Tocchet has it for Philadelphia and drops it to Crossman. Over to Brad Marsh. Now Fogelin intercepted. Here comes Messier for Edmonton. Trying to slide it through, but off Marsh's skate. And now Brad Marsh comes back for the Flyers. To Craven, number 32. And the rookie Craven dumps it in. Patterson charging in, but the Oilers clear it. And here is a lead pass to Messier from Napier. Mark Messier shoots wide by about a foot. Crossman right back for the Flyers. Less than 5 minutes to play in the first period. Here's Rick Tocchet. And that shot steered aside by Fuhr. Fuhr decides to clear it. Called in, but Gretzky breaks up. Gretzky against Dvorak. To Coffey. Shoots, he scores!
I don't believe it.
Gretzky and Coffey.
Wow. Take a look at this one and look at the move Gretzky made as he hit the line. That's the thing that made this play. Now, he just a little hesitation as he got to the line, just enough to throw the defenseman off. There it was. Now the pass. Now he led him with it. A back pass, he led Coffey with it. Look at it again. Here's the little hesitation. Right at the line, just enough. Ducks back a little bit. The defenseman, Crossman, goes the wrong way. Look at that pass, and he led Coffey coming up. And it is 3-1, and you'll never see a better one until he does it again.
And Paul Coffey's 11th goal to the playoffs adds to his record. Here's Ron Sutter's shot, and it's caught by Fuhr, and he held on to it. And we get a stoppage here with Edmonton now leading 3-1. From Edmonton, the Stanley Cup final on CTV.
Well, the Oilers are always dangerous when they're short-handed, and the chance there as they broke out quickly out of the zone. No choice at all for Crossman except to put the hook on the man. Here it is. As the puck came loose against the boards, Crossman just reached back now as he was in a situation where he was going to get caught with only Howe back on a one-on-one with Eric Curry, and you don't particularly want that.
So it's a 4-on-4 situation again as Coffey headmans it to Messier. Marsh tied him up. Anderson gets it for the Oilers. To Messier. Back to Anderson. Dvorak tying him up. Now Messier and Marsh to the corner. But Dvorak has it for Philadelphia. Had nowhere to go. Tries to clear it. And gets it to Craven, but the Oilers hold it in. Now Dvorak again. Randy Gregg took his man out, and Kevin Lowe slides the puck over to Messier, who dumps it in. Jackson will be back on in 5 seconds, and then Edmonton will have a power play. Here's Marsh. Shoots it down the ice just as Jackson comes back on. Coffey back to get it, and it's an icing call. I think the ruling is that he shot it down the ice, but the man still in the penalty box, and thus the icing call, even though the Oilers are now back at full strength.
Well, how many records is Coffey going to, where is he going to finish off in this Stanley Cup year? He has scored his 11th goal now, 35 points total. Both of those are records for defensemen. And he keeps going on and on. He's one of the favorites. There are 3 they're listing. I think most of the people who have been following the Stanley Cup, and if Edmonton wins, I think the choice will be between Coffey, Gretzky, and Grant Fuhr. And most of the work by Grant Fuhr that has been key was very early in the playoffs, especially in that Los Angeles series where he was the first star in all 3 games. But he's been there when they've needed him, Grant Fuhr.
Gretzky and Coffey are 1-2 in the NHL playoff scoring race now. Here's a shot, throws a stick save. Krushelnyski tied up by Howe. He gets it to Curry. Now to Huddy. Over to Coffey. He scores! Paul Coffey!
Make that 12 goals and counting. 2 tonight. Paul Coffey. They talked about it. Mike Keenan the one-timing he was doing. You don't see that from the blue line very often. But Coffey, with that tremendous shot of his, just one-times it again. And off the glove and up under the crossbar. Let's look at it one more time. The pass from Huddy, number 22, the one-timer. And it's now 4-1. Shots on goal, 12-6, favor Edmonton.
A power play goal there by Coffey. His 12th of the playoffs, his second of this game. Huddy and Curry the assist. 17:57 the time, and it's 4-1 for Edmonton. Here are the Oilers with Gregg clearing one to McClellan, and that's called back on an offside. And we're down to 1:44 left in the period. Here's Dan Matheson.
Thanks very much, Dan Kelly. We'll be talking in our first intermission with the president of the National Hockey League, John Ziegler. We will get up close and personal with Mark Messier, and Brad Park will be back with the highlights.
Well, the timing on Mark Messier couldn't be better. He is playing a terrific game for the Oilers here tonight. He has got his speed. He is involved very much in the play, and there is a pretty good sign. One of the fans have, strong coffee will kill you.
And the next sign with this pace by Edmonton may be ice up the champagne.
Yeah.
Here's Philadelphia with Crossman. Now trying to clear it. Gets it into the Edmonton zone, and that play is offside at the Oiler blue line. 4-1 in favor of Edmonton here late in the first period.
There's a guy who supplies a great deal of leadership, Dave Poulin. Joined the Flyers back in '83, already a captain in the National Hockey League. He's playing hurt. He's been bothered by not only a knee injury, but some people think a broken or cracked rib. And he's been playing with a flak jacket on throughout the playoffs. Bob Crows came into the National Hockey League and went his first 13 games without a loss. A heck of a way to start your NHL career. He was 12-0-1 in those games. Another free agent signing. Well, he's got his hands full tonight.
Now the Oilers send out Billy Carroll and Dave Semenko for their first duty of the game. On the line with Pat Hughes, it's also Hughes' first appearance. Here's Zezel, tied up by Gregg on the play. Now Zezel trying to kick it loose to Patterson, and Don Jackson gets it for the Oilers. Trying to clear it, Patterson held it in. Now taken by Brown, he's upended. Zezel tried to center, but Hughes has it. Now Philadelphia's Zezel. Dropping it back, that one off Marsh's skate, and Hughes cleared it. Racing after it, number 20, Bill Carroll. Carroll trying to center to Semenko. Marsh dove in front of the pass-up. Drops it to Anderson, who's out there now. Anderson, tied up by Marsh, shoots from a bad angle. Wide of the target. Here's Carroll. Into Anderson. Patterson took him out. Now centered, but Marsh is there. Got it to the line. Fogelin held it in. Now Marsh clearing it out as the Flyers under pressure will take the icing call. And we're down to 30 seconds left. Here in period number one, it's 4-1 for Edmonton.
Well, it's amazing how the way things go, you feed off it. Even the subs kind of get involved. Dave Semenko out there, Billy Carroll, and they're buzzing around the Philadelphia Flyers, getting their scoring chances. There's Mark Messier. Hasn't shown on this score sheet beyond an assist in this period, but he has been dominant out there so far in the game.
Here's Messier getting ready for a face-off with Murray Craven. Messier gets the draw to Napier. Back to Fogelin. Throws, intercepts, and sets it up for Crossman. Now to Smith, but Fogelin had him tied up. Now Ron Sutter trying to break free, but Messier took him out. Messier to Napier. Number 18, Napier to Glenn Anderson. Now Ron Sutter with the puck. Messier checked him, shot it in with Anderson already in the zone, and it's offside. And we're down to 7 seconds left in the first period.
Well, Ron Sutter had 6 shots on Tuesday night. That line, as we mentioned, the two Sutters and Derek Smith, clearly the best and have been the best the last couple of games for the Flyers as they have become shorthanded in the manpower department. They'll bring him off the ice now, and Cockett comes out along with Kropp and Poulin.
It's 4-1 for the Edmonton Oilers after one period. There you see the scoring summary. Curry from Gretzky and Huddy at 4:54. Lindstrom made it 2-0 from Messier at 5:31. Rich Sutter scored from Smith for the Flyers at 7:23. But then Paul Coffey with his 11th and 12th goals of the playoffs at 15:31 and 17:57 to make it 4-1. Those two goals by Coffey, of course, adding to his new record for most goals by a defenseman. Shots favored the Oilers 12-7. And Ron Rusch, I bet your play of the period involves Gretzky and Coffey.
Absolutely no doubt. Here it is. He's going one-on-one against Dvorak here. And that little move at the blue line got Dvorak turned around the wrong way. And then the feed. And such a beautiful feed it was to Coffey. He shot it high on Froze and into the net. What a goal. No doubt about it, the goal of the game so far.
Coffey is second in the NHL scoring playoff race, and number one is Gretzky, and you saw them at work there. This is Carling O'Keefe Sports, the Stanley Cup Finals on CTV. Back to the ice for period 2. Shots on goal favor Edmonton in the first period 12-7. They dominated, and the Oiler scores are flying high tonight, Ronald.
Well, the interesting thing was the thing that Brad was pointing out is where the shots have been going. The fourth goal in that one was a one-timer by Coffey, but they've been going high, stick side on most of the shots on Bob Froze. I don't know, there's just the way things have gone for Froze that they've gone in on him. Froze is a good goaltender, highly rated in the National Hockey League, but he certainly had his problems tonight with the long shots. And I don't know what you can do. They're backs to the wall. They have no Lindbergh now. I think at this point, under any other circumstances, there would have been a goaltending change by Mike Keenan, who was very quick to do that, but Froze under fire.
By the way, Darren Jensen is the backup goaltender tonight for the Flyers. Here's a Flyers centering pass, came to Crossman, who held it in, and then Pure shot it away onto the boards, and Glenn Anderson slides it to center. Brad Marsh has it there. Messier tying him up, and now here's Anderson. Crossman is there defensively and cleared it out and racing after it. The Flyers, Rick Tocchet tried to get it to Patterson. Now it is centered, but Messier intercepts, and here come the Oilers with a 3-on-2 led by Messier. Messier shoots wide by about a foot, bounced in front. No Oiler was there, and back comes Dave Poulin, number 20. Drop pass. Here's Brown's shot. Pure the save, centered. Pure got a piece of that. Here's Dvorak, and Huddy blocked his shot, and away comes Coffey. Paul Coffey's pass intercepted by Dvorak, and he loses to Krushelnyski to Gretzky. Out in front, throws a sprawling save on Gretzky. Held in by Curry to Gretzky, but Crossman will beat him to it. And now back is Coffey for the Oilers. Over to Huddy. Trying to feed Curry. Crossman intercepting. Gives it to Brown. Number 21, Dave Brown. Trying to go around Coffey. Huddy takes Brown out. Now centered out in front by Bergen. Knocked away by Gretzky, and Curry has a breakaway. Up high off the glass. As Curry just about established a new record for goals in the playoffs. Here's Brown back for Philadelphia. Taken away by Jackson. Jackson being forechecked in the play. And now Gregg shoots it around to the other side. Sinisalo into Bergen. Here's Sinisalo again for Philadelphia. Shoots. Pure came up, made the save. Sinisalo again to Craven. Now Bergen skated out. Into the other corner to Howe, to Craven. Trying to center it is Bergen. It is centered to Howe. That shot blocked by Gregg. And back comes Hunter for Edmonton. Hunter to Gretzky. Erickson poking it away. Now Craven for Philadelphia. To Ron Sutter. Ron Sutter shoots, and Kevin Lowe and down to block that. He's shaken up. Gretzky gives it to Hunter. Hunter trying to go around Marsh. And now going back is Crossman for Philadelphia. Lindstrom into forecheck. Rick Sutter able to clear it to brother Ron. And Ron Sutter shoots it in. Derek Smith tied up by Fogelin. They both go down. And play is called by referee Brian Lewis. From Edmonton, the Stanley Cup Final on CTV.
Well, Ron Sutter had a penalty shot in the game on Tuesday night. We had almost the same thing with Jari Kurri on a nice tip-ahead play here by Gretzky. And Kurri all alone from his own blue line. I think he had too much time to think about this. He took it off the shoulder of Rose. He made the save.
16:51 left in the second period. And a face-off coming up in the Edmonton zone. Messier against Zezel.
Kurri had enough time to write a book.
Your point of having too much time to think may be the key. Although Prose did get a piece of it, and then it went off the glass. Zezel against Messier here. Messier gets the draw, and this is Kevin Lowe. To Anderson, intercepted by Dvorak. Dvorak to Patterson. Shot blocked by Fuhr. Big rebound comes to Hospodar into Zezel. And then it's knocked away by Napier. Hospodar and Dvorak go back. Dvorak takes it. Off the boards, but right onto an Edmonton stick as Huddy takes over. Over to Kevin Lowe. Now to Napier. To Glenn Anderson, but it was offside as Anderson went in ahead of the pass.
Well, the Edmonton Oilers traded and got Mark Napier in the middle of the season, a veteran of the Montreal Canadiens. Mark had his problems in this series. Of course, that cross-check from Hospodar that led to him losing his first tooth. Pushing and shoving at center ice. But Mark came to the Oilers because he's always had great speed, and yet immediately he comes to this team. They put him on a line with Glenn Anderson and Mark Messier. Suddenly, as he said, he gets swallowed up.
From Edmonton, the Stanley Cup Final on CTV.
Well, there was absolutely no way that Brian Lewis could ignore this. This was a spectacular bit of holding in front of the net, but he even wanted to ignore it. There was a bit of a trip up near the blue line, but that did not present the scoring chance. This did. Coffey losing the puck in front, and Fuhr would have been left there naked. You see Fuhr diving out to try and protect himself, but the penalty has been called at 6:44, pocket for holding.
The Oilers' power play alignment. Messier, Anderson, and Lindstrom up front. Or Gretzky now moves up onto the left side with Messier and Anderson. And it's going to be Coffey and Huddy as the point men. Here's Messier. To Anderson. Gretzky digs in. He couldn't get it, but Messier does. And Messier checked by Poulin. Now Anderson gets it, and now a hooking penalty coming up against the Oilers as Poulin was pulled down. And it will be a 4-on-4 situation. Messier goes to the penalty box for hooking.
And again, the referees are very conscious of the fact that fouls inside the offensive zone that could present scoring chances, you just don't want to let them go. So Messier up along the boards. It seemed like much of a penalty when I witnessed it without the benefit of slow motion. But again, it's that kind of a play that had been allowed to go. The man is suddenly pulling out of the play. There's the hook up against the boards. That was enough to call the penalty because it took Poulin out of the play, and suddenly you would have had a 5-on-3 inside the zone.
So 4-on-4 again, the situation here in Edmonton with the Oilers leading 4-1. Here's Mark Howe. Trying to make a play to Crossman, does. Over to Craven. Centered, intercepted by Coffey, who tried a quick pass to Gretzky. And had that worked, the Oilers would have had another 2-on-1. Howe back for Philadelphia. To Ron Sutter. Over to Craven. Huddy broke it up. Now Coffey takes over. Coffey faked to go behind the net and then comes right up the middle to Gretzky. Back to Coffey. Centered again. Comes to Fogelin. Shoots. Stick save by Froze. Curry to Gretzky. 4-on-4 and the Oilers. Gretzky dropped it to low as he was falling. And the puck comes all the way to the Oiler end with Pure. Feeding low to Curry. Curry flipping it up. And he flipped it up too high and put it into the crowd. 11:47 left in period 2. 4-1 Edmonton. Brad, any observations?
Well, this is the kind of situation that the referees have to be very careful, because when Taka took that penalty, we're going to look at Coffey just breaking away from behind the net and leaving two guys in his wake. That's a great acceleration.
I was going to say, the acceleration there, tremendous, and he just took off right on the people that were facing the other way.
But I was going to get back to the point, Dan, that the penalty to Taka, the Flyers are very unhappy because they felt that Peter Zezel got pulled down just outside the Edmonton blue line. And it looked, it could have been an even up call, but, Brian Luce is trying to keep a good handle on this game.
Each team still a man short. Here's Howe. Gets help from Marsh. Now to Dave Poulin, number 20. Into Brian Kropp. Kropp trying to break in. Lindstrom tied him up just as he went to shoot. The shot went wide. Anderson to Fogelin. Back to Glenn Anderson. And Howe breaks that up. Here's Kropp with Tocchet out of the penalty box. Pass off Tocchet's skate. Drag taken out by Tocchet, and now Philadelphia on a brief power play, but Anderson shoots it away. Just 8 seconds left in Messier's penalty. Here's Eriksson as the Flyers try and battle back. Eriksson gave it to Zezel. Messier's back on, and Messier steals it, breaks away. Mark Messier shoots, he scores!
Well, Brad Park likes to talk about the little things. How about this one, as Messier now just lifts the stick, and away he goes. He beats the man at the blue line, and he is on his way now on a 2-on-1 over the line. Eriksson trying to get back in the quick shot. And stick side again on Froze. Here he comes. They're aiming, obviously, to that stick side. Not a hard shot at all. Low to the stick side this time.
Messier had just come out of the penalty box.
And he just didn't get his pad over. The stick failed to be his helper on it. And Mark Messier, who's having a terrific game, finally counts a goal here.
It is 5-1 Edmonton. Messier's 11th to the playoffs, unassisted at 9:18. And now the Flyers in deeper trouble. Smith's long shot, kicked aside by Pure. Derek Smith gets it behind the goal, and Jackson feeds Hunter. Held in by Hospodar to Smith. A backhander that was wide of the target. Ron Sutter. Centered, but Jackson, number 29, had it. Pure had to help him out there. And it's McClellan to Dave Hunter. Hunter's long shot well wide of the target. And Howe shot up the center. Hunter gets it again. Hunter, McClellan, and Lindstrom out there as they dump it in. Here's Howe. Up the middle for Rick Sutter, but Huddy intercepts, and now it's Coffey. Giving it to Charlie Huddy to Curry. 3-on-2, Edmonton break. Curry to Krushelnyski. To Gretzky to Krushelnyski. He scores! And it's 6-1 Edmonton.
Boy, they move the puck around, don't they, Dan? Here it comes. Let's watch it. Krushelnyski had all the time in the world as they had moved it around to such an extent that they had everybody out of position. Howe was taken out at the blue line on the play as they ran a bit of a pick. And here's the pass to Krushelnyski. He stops. Froze is already out of it as he went down, and Krushelnyski puts it up top.
That's Gretzky's third assist of this game. Krushelnyski gets his fifth goal to the playoffs. It's 6-1 Edmonton. There's Zezel back for the Flyers, trying to center. Patterson whacked it wide. Zezel again. Krushelnyski takes over. Now to Gretzky. Gretzky to Curry. Marsh just tipping that away. And here's a nice pass from Crossman to Zezel. Coffey is there to break it up, and here comes Gretzky, and another 2-on-1. Gretzky to Krushelnyski, high and wide, centered, and then almost jammed in by Curry, but throws dove across. Wow! From Edmonton, the Stanley Cup Final on CTV.
Well, there you see one fellow who's got a 6-1 lead to the right of your screen, Glenn Sather. Here's a question for you, Dan. 1976, Glenn Sather took over the Edmonton Oilers, a WHA team at the time. Can you remember who was coach before Sather?
I didn't follow that league.
I didn't follow that league.
Neither did I too much, but Pep Quidlin.
Yeah, that's a name from the past. Here comes Derek Smith. Now Coffey knocking it away. Ahead to Gretzky. Shoots off the goal post. Comes to Gretzky again. Centering to Curry. And it's Ron Sutter. Ahead to Smith. Trying to set up Howe. Huddy knocking that down, and here's Coffey for Edmonton. Coffey center. To Curry, to Gretzky. He scores! Wayne Gretzky makes it 7-1.
Coming in on waves now. Another one of those three-way plays. This one started by Coffey with his great speed at the blue line. As he just ducked in, that beautiful smooth skating style of his. Now, as he gets in deep, he's past the defense now, feeds it out into the slot. Curry, Gretzky, and at that point, Froese thought it was going the other side, and it's a wide open net. Here he is again. Boy, they're going to make it tough for the Conn Smythe selectors. Is it going to be Gretzky or is it going to be Coffey? Both of them are having terrific nights.
That scoring play, Gretzky, his 17th of the playoffs from Curry and Coffey, 16:49 the time. It's 7-1. Now here's Craven, and it's offside at the Edmonton blue line. Well, Gretzky has a goal and 3 assists. Coffey has 2 goals and 1 assist. And they were the favorites for the Conn Smythe coming into this game.
Well, I think it's going to be decided on the overall playoffs, the kind of year that the two of them had as a playoff year. And so we'll talk a little bit to Brad about it.
Here's Coffey again with Gretzky. To Gretzky. And a pad saved by Froese. Frickin' Frack, we're at it again. They are something else. Number 99 and number 7 for the Oilers. Here's Coffey. Intercepting that is Craven. Now to Eriksson. Broken up by Curry. Gretzky gives it to Huddy. Penalized players come back on. It's dropped back to Coffey, but it came outside the blue line. Here comes Gretzky once more. Gretzky throws the save. Rebound cleared by Eriksson. Anderson to Gretzky. Broken up by Dvorak, who flips it to Ron Sutter. And Jackson, with 2 minutes left in the period, gives it to Gretzky. Gretzky trying to get it over to Napier. His shot went off Marsh. Here's Smith. Now Marsh breaks out. Greg took him out, and Fuhr, who has had not very much work, just comes out and scoops it up. And we get a stoppage with 1:41 left in the second period.
All right, Brad. We've been picking stars all the way through the playoffs. Got to make a decision between a Gretzky A copy. A Fuhr is in there, although I don't think he's being seriously considered among the top 2. Who do you like?
I don't know. I'll tell you what, it could be the first time in the history of the Stanley Cup playoffs they should put 2 guys' name on the trophy.
Well, we look at the records that each has established in this playoff year. Coffey, most assists, most goals, most points, most assists in one period. He's had a 6-point game, a 5-point game, a 4-point game. That's just Coffey. We'll talk about Gretzky in a moment.
Here's Gregg. The hit to Anderson. Intercepted by Marsh, and back is Rick Tocchet for Philadelphia. Jackson took him out, and Messier gets the puck for Edmonton. Head-manning it to Mark Napier. Into Anderson. In front to Messier. Knocked away by Philadelphia, and Joe Patterson clears the zone. Vogelin cleared. Marsh comes back for the Flyers. We're in the final minute of the second period. Here's Kevin Lowe for Edmonton. Over to Napier, who just cleared it out. Hospodar for the Flyers, firing it right back in. Now knocked down, and away comes Lindstrom to Messier. He fires it in. Bullen trying to clear it. Lindstrom held it in, and now Crossman fires it up ice for Craven. That's called back on a 2-line offside, and we're down to 31 seconds, and you're going to run through some of number 99's records of this playoff.
Well, first of all, that 7-point game in Winnipeg was in the Winnipeg series. He's got the most assists in the playoffs, most points total, breaking his own record there. He came into this game having already broken his own record by 5 points, and he's added to that tonight. Records. Coffey's broken 4. I'll tell you, I have to come to you, Dan, for the tiebreaker here.
I think Brad had a good point when it might be a year to have a co-winner. Here's Brown for Philadelphia, but he couldn't get it around Lindstrom, and the Flyers have to go back and regroup. Ron Sutter, check, picking it up is Howe. This shot blocked by Lowe. Now Fuhr comes diving across to stop Brown from a bad angle, and then Brown wants to get into it with McClellan behind the net.
They just put a shot on goal up there, and it's a shot. It was from a bad angle, but Fuhr had to make it. It's the first save that he's had to make in about 8 minutes. The shots on goal right now are 29-15. So in this period, Edmonton has outshot Philadelphia 17-8. Here it is again from the short side. Fuhr just reaching back and covering it up. Fuhr has allowed just the 1 goal. The Oilers lead 7-1.
And we have just 5 seconds left in the second period. Grant Fuhr tosses the puck to the linesman for this face-off.
Comes from Spruce Grove, area suburbs of Edmonton. Played his junior hockey in Victoria. Went to the Memorial Cup the year they played it in Windsor. Cornwall won the Memorial Cup that year in the final against Kitchener.
Here you see Brian Lewis in the middle of the face-off circle. On that play, we had penalties, by the way, on the altercation behind the net. The Brown and McClellan. That was after Fuhr had made the diving save on Brown, and they each get minor penalties for roughing. 19:55 the time.
Oh, we just had a report that Gretzky has gone to the dressing room. He went out apparently after the last shift, so there's Mike Krushelnyski. We'll have to wait a report on that. Didn't seem to be anything too serious when Gretz took a high stick. We'll wait.
Messier will take this face-off against Zezel. 5 seconds left in the period. Messier wins the draw. Krushelnyski trying to freeze it against the boards. And it's held there, and we'll get another face-off with now just 1 second left. Not much you can do in 1 second.
No.
Particularly when you're down by 6.
Hold it a second. It's the Oilers that are on the ice, although in 1 second I don't think they can get from one end of the ice, even with Messier out there.
Just time for the drop of the puck. Messier got the draw. The buzzer goes. The second period comes to an end. Edmonton out shooting Philadelphia 17-8 in that period. In the game, 29-15 to this point. And it's a 7-1 Edmonton lead here after 2 periods over Philadelphia. From Edmonton, the Stanley Cup Final on CTV.
At these retailers today.
It was 4-1 Edmonton after the first period, and the Oilers scored 3 goals in the second. Messier unassisted at 9:18. Grushelnyski from Gretzky and Curry at 10:20. And then Gretzky again from Curry and Coffey at 16:49. The Oilers completely dominated the period, outshooting Philadelphia 17-8 in the game. 29-15, the shots favoring Edmonton. Ron, your play of the period.
Well, it was a situation where the Oilers really were sitting on a big lead. The Flyers couldn't afford to make a mistake, and there it was as Zezel fell, and then coming out, Messier completely blows by Dvorak, goes in, goes to his forehand, and goes low to the stick side. That made it 5-1. Could almost turn the lights out at that point, but now 7-1, and we've got a third period to play in.
Gretzky and Curry each have 4 points in this game. Coffey has 3. Brad Park coming up with more highlights. This is Carling O'Keefe Sports, the Stanley Cup. As we start this period, each team a man short. 1:52 left in the penalties, which carry over to Brown and McClellan from the second period. Here's Messier, number 11 for Edmonton. Working it to Anderson. Glove saved by Crows on a rocket by Anderson.
Boy, under normal circumstances, that's into the net. Went high, this time to the glove side, not the stick side on Froze, and Froze handled it. Now he got the puck just at the line, and then that quick high shot. He's got a good wrist shot, and Froze makes a good glove save on this play. See how quickly he came in there, and Froze got the glove on it, coming out to cut the angle down, but he still had to come up with a big save. There's no way that puck was going to hit him. He had to get the glove out there.
Glenn Anderson, another of the Oiler big guns. Here is Lowe. Drops to Messier. Froze slid across to stop Messier. And now back comes Craven, number 32. Pull down. There'll be a penalty here to Messier for hooking. And Edmonton will have to be 2 men short. Philadelphia just 1. And a penalty to the Oilers. From Edmonton, the Stanley Cup Final on CTV.
Well, a couple of fellows who have great speed. Mark Messier of the Oilers, not pleased with the penalty just called on him, and the reason for the penalty was Craven, who's got that good speed. He put the hook on him as he came to the line, and that drew the penalty.
And it will give Philadelphia a 4-against-3 power play. There you see McClellan in the penalty box. Now Sather at the Edmonton bench. Brown is in the box for Philadelphia. And the Oilers immediately clear down the ice. Gretzky, by the way, is back on the Edmonton bench. Ron mentioned he had gone to the dressing room early at the end of the second period. Here's Howe for Philadelphia, tied up by Huddy. Cleared. Todd Bergen, number 19 for the Flyers. Over to Prop, back to Bergen, shoots. Bad save, Pure, and Coffey clears it away.
Well, he had a clear view of that all the way. Good shot from the blue line, and Pure makes one of the rare saves he's had to make in this game.
Bergen shot it into the center ice area. Coffey intercepting. Now to Curry. And it's dumped in, and Todd Bergen will try again on this Philadelphia power play. To Mark Howe. Now ahead to Prop. He's upended on the play. Coffey comes up with the puck, feeds Curry, who's got a break. Only Bergen back. Curry waits for some help rather than shoot, gives it to Coffey. Coffey checked out of the play. And now Howe for Philadelphia. Here comes Prop. Dropping it to Dvorak, and now play is called because away back in front of the Philadelphia goal. What's happening there?
Well, I was watching all that because what happened was Coffey got tied up in front of the net. and he was kind of wrestled down. Now, two players were lying on top of each other behind the play. Zezel's the one on top, and now Ron Finn came in, and he sees the two kind of rolling around. He says, all right, this is enough of this. Kind of break it up. And as soon as Finn got there, they started to really roll around. Here it is. Coffey just kind of fell on top of him. They stayed this way for a good 7 to 8 seconds now, sort of lying on top of each other. Now Finn will come in here as he sees what's going on. Now at this point, as you see Coffey looking up ice, now here's Finn coming in to help out and say, all right, come on, enough of this. Play is going on down at the other end of the ice. As soon as Finn started in there, now they've got aggressive. So they'll both go.
Strange play. The play had gone down into the Edmonton end of the rink.
Pretty dumb stuff, really, when you think about it.
And penalties on the play. Messier is still in the penalty box, by the way, has 43 seconds left in his penalty. Well, Brad Park, there's one thing about being in the broadcast booth tonight. You don't have to shake hands with anybody.
You're darn right, Dan. I'll tell you what. You know, the funny thing about this game, it's played with emotion. It's an emotional game. All the players have a lot of emotion. The crowd has emotion. And it really seems, sometimes I feel it's a shame that a fella has to hide his emotions for the sake of looking good.
And, of course, you're in favor of, when the cup is won, congratulating the champion. That's the message I got from your little...
Definitely. They're the team that, you know, they're the champions this year. They've been all season long. They're a great hockey club. They've won something. They've made an accomplishment, and they deserve a lot of congratulations.
Here are the Flyers scoring as Howe let it go from the point. That'll be a power play goal for Philadelphia. Howe let it go. That deflected off someone, and we'll wait for the replay to tell us.
Well, we'll see. Watch number 2, Howe. He got the face-off. It came off the skate of Poulin. Now Howe floating into that deep slot area, just shot it into a crowd. A prop was right in front. Now, whether it went off him or just the screen, get better view of it here now. And he got the heel of the stick on it, and it deflected in, and it's 7-2. Here's Brad Park.
One thing that Philadelphia has changed, this is only the second power play they've had in the whole game, but they've changed because Mark Howe's always played the left side throughout the playoffs. Tonight he's playing the right side. His stick's in the center. He's got a better angle for shooting and a better way to make plays. So this is one change that Philadelphia has made on their power play.
And it worked there. Prop deflecting in the goal. His 8th goal of the playoffs. Howe and Poulin the assists. 1:59 the time. And it cuts the Edmonton lead to 7-2.
It's just the second goal of this series for Brian Propp. As I said, the pressure has been on him. They've been looking towards him, and he's not really had that good a playoff series. And again, and Mike Keenan said it before the game, that pressure's on him so much it's unfair, and one guy can't carry a team in the playoffs.
Here's Rich Sutter. The teams are at full strength now. Number 15, Rich Sutter. Sliding it in. Jackson going back to get it. Clears one. Hospodar intercepting. Here's Ed Hospodar. Slid it in front. Gregg clears that away, and here's Lindstrom with Hunter on a 2-on-2. Marsh took Lindstrom out. Rose cleared it away. McClellan right in to get it. Kevin McClellan from a bad angle throws the save, and he dives across to grab the rebound, and we get a stoppage. From Edmonton, the Stanley Cup Final on CTV.
Well, number 19 for the Edmonton Oilers is Willie Lindstrom. He's the oldest Oiler, 34 going on 20 the way he skates and has been skating out here tonight. He started this play. McClellan around behind the net now. That's Lindstrom, number 19 in front, trying to fight off Brad Marsh, and the puck just winds up in the goal mouth area, and Pros had to sprawl down, cover up, and then corral the puck and hold on.
17-11 left in the third period, 7-2. The Edmonton Oilers leading in their quest for their second consecutive Stanley Cup. Here's Mark Howe. Just sliding it in. Fuhr clears that, cleared it again. Napier on the boards against Crossman. Held in by Patterson for the Flyers. Fuhr almost got caught out of there. Now it's centered. Fuhr cleared it, and Messier stick handles out of trouble. And tried to feed it to Anderson. It'll go the length of the ice. And as Crossman goes back to touch it, it's an icing call here against Edmonton.
Well, that little stick handling job by Messier there in the old-fashioned sense as he just ducked away from about 4 attempts to check him and then finally made the play. There's Doug Crossman. Interesting story. His last year of junior, 1979-80 season, he scored 116 points for the Ottawa 67s. It was also the last year of Paul Coffey, who was playing in Kitchener before turning pro. Coffey had 71 points, 45 points fewer than Crossman. What did it all mean? Well, Coffey was drafted 6th overall, and Crossman went in the 6th round. Both pretty good defensemen, though.
Here's Marsh. Stolen by Messier, who's in the clear. Scores! And the Oilers are making it look easy.
Well, as I said, it doesn't really show spectacularly on the score sheet, but Messier has been outstanding in this game, and his speed, he just skated away from everybody and presented with his own speed the breakaway. Stick side again. I never heard that Froese was weak on the stick side, but they've been going there all night.
Brad, was that the book on Froese, that he was weak on the stick side, or were you aware of that?
I don't think so. It's very hard to make a book on a goaltender unless you've seen it for a few years and somebody picks something up and it gradually gets passed around the National Hockey League. Bob Froese is relatively new to the league. He hasn't played that much this year. It'd be very hard to have any kind of book on him. I just think it's the way it's working out. And right now, Bob Froese isn't playing with a whole great lot of confidence.
I've got to remember the injury, too. Now, he had a knee. He doesn't react in the goal crease like he did because of the strained ligaments, which kept him out of most of the last half of the season. And he's still maybe favoring that a little bit and perhaps trying to overcompensate. It was his left knee, so he goes down perhaps leaning the other way.
Meanwhile, when a Messier scores at a breakaway, doesn't matter if it's on the stick side or the glove side, I guess. It's 8-2 for Edmonton. Here's Rich Sutter for the Flyers, centering one. You're cleared that away, and Semenko comes up with it, but now back in front of the net. Play is called, and a penalty coming up here against Edmonton, and from Edmonton, the Stanley Cup Final on CTV.
Johnson's off, and again, the Flyers have a power play opportunity here. It has not been a very good power play in this series. And again, you lose a Tim Kerr who makes the power play go, and you've got a problem, and they've had it.
Only 2 for 25 in this series are the Flyers. Well, actually, they scored that last goal on a power play with Messier out. Here's Messier clearing it to Howe. Howe starting back. The puck came outside the line, and as Howe carried it back in, it's called an offside at the Edmonton blue line.
Nice job by Howe, but he just couldn't contain it under some pretty intense checking right out near the blue line. Well, this will not be a year for Mark Howe to win another championship. He won the WHA championship, was on his championship team with Houston.
Philadelphia is still on a power play. Crossman over to Howe. Mark Howe, number 2, into Brian Propp. Rink wide to Bergen. Sliding it around for Propp. He missed it. Crossman gets it to Dave Poulin. Out in front it comes to Howe. Now to Bergen. Number 19, Todd Bergen, rifling one just wide. Here's Howe. Huddy knocks it away. It's still loose. Bergen getting it to Poulin. Slid it in front, but Coffey is there, and back come Edmonton. Coffey with Gretzky. To Gretzky. Too well checked by Crossman. Gretzky to Curry. Froese came out and got a piece of that. And now it's Crossman into the center ice area for Brian Propp. His shot at a stick save by Fuhrer. Gretzky starting back. Still 30 seconds left in Jackson's penalty. Now to Coffey, who just fires it down the ice. The Oilers with an 8-2 lead. And shorthanded. Here's Dvorak. to Zezel to Craven. Fuhr comes out, knocks it aside, and Anderson will clear the zone. Erickson hustling back to beat Messier to it. And now it's Zezel. Jackson's back on. The Oilers have killed it off. Here's Erickson leaving it for Sinisalo. He's checked. Now Erickson with a weak shot. Sinisalo. Nowhere near the net with that wrist shot. Craven. Now to Sinisalo. Centered out in front. Fanned on by Craven, and back comes Napier with Anderson. Trying to leave it there, but Erickson has it for Philadelphia. And here's Craven. Napier checked him. Now Ron Sutter. This shot blocked by Jackson. And the Oilers start back with Billy Carroll. Carroll taken out by Hospodar, and it's Marsh for the Flyers. Marsh to Ron Sutter. In now to Smith. Taken out. And the Oilers come up with it as Randy Gregg beats one man. Tried to feed it to Semenko. Hospodar knocked it away. Now Rich Sutter. Around Gregg. He scores! Rich Sutter cuts the Edmonton lead to 8-3.
Well, Rich Sutter just got the jump on Gregg and circled him enough to get some room to let the shot go. Watch it again now as Randy Gregg is back, and it's Ron Sutter who made the play at the blue line that caused the situation. Good little effort by the one brother to set up the twin brother. And Rich just circled. Here it comes, and then he gets the room to lean into it, and he kind of rattled it off the far post and into the net. Fuhr kind of shakes his stick a little bit, but he's still got a 5-goal lead here.
That's Rich Sutter's second goal of this game, his third of the playoffs. And it cuts the Oiler lead to 8-3.
Well, Rich Sutter's the slower developing of the Sutter twins. They had him down in the minor leagues this year, brought him up late. Ron Sutter drawing an assist along with Derek Smith. That's the whole line at 7:05. But off what I've seen in this series, especially in the last 3 or 4 games, it would appear that suddenly he's matured. Much more confidence here in this playoff series against Edmonton.
Now it's shot in by Edmonton. Marsh is there. Cleared to center, and Coffey has it for the Oilers. Now it's Lindstrom. Over to Coffey. Now to Charlie Huddy. Game's back at full strength. Huddy shooting it in. Rose is there to Marsh. He works it to Brown, number 21. He just shot it into the center ice area, and Huddy gives it to Lowe, to McClellan. McClellan to Lindstrom. Shot blocked by Hospodar. And now Brown for Philadelphia to Poulin. Poulin checked by Fogelin. Lowe then ties Poulin up, and Fogelin feeds Lindstrom. He got it out of the zone, and Tocchet for Philadelphia trying to clear it back in, and does. Kevin Lowe shooting it to Gretzky. Here's Gretzky. And now back of the play. Play is called as Poulin, and Kevin Lowe try and get into it. That occurring when Gretzky had a dangerous rush coming inside the Philadelphia blue line. And Lowe is ushered over towards the penalty box. And we'll get penalties again from Edmonton, the Stanley Cup final on CTV.
Well, Wayne Gretzky's pretty upset. It looked like he was rattled up pretty good up along the boards as the play went out into the center ice zone. Here it is now. It's Ron Sutter. That looked like a spear to me, and then followed by that. And Gretzky was very slow getting up. He was hobbled a little bit, got back into the play, but then he was, as the play was stopped inside the zone on the Froze save, he got a little angry with Ron Sutter.
I don't think he was as injured as much as he was upset that the penalty wasn't called. Anyway, he's right back out there. There's Brown at center, into Prop. Kevin Lowe tied him up, and Fogelin trying to shoot it out. Now Poulin. He couldn't get it, and Curry Scoops it out for Edmonton with Crossman there to get it. Here's Howe to Brown. Intercepting that is Fogelin. And Edmonton with a commanding 8-3 lead. Come to center and just dump it in. Well, this has to be a frustrating evening for these young Flyers. They're behind by 5.
Well, they haven't faced much adversity this year. But as I said, they're learning from it. They'll be a better team than they were this year, next year.
Here's Gretzky again. Very well tied up, and Craven will get a penalty here for hooking down Gretzky. From Edmonton, the Stanley Cup final on seats.
Well, I'll tell you, to pick between the two, I've kind of leaned a lot towards Coffey as a Conn Smythe, the main Conn Smythe candidate, but a fellow who disagrees and says, look, you can't ignore him, is his coach, Glenn Sather. He says that Gretzky, in the key games, has played some of the best hockey. Sather says the best hockey he's played this season has been in the last 3, and including tonight, the last 4 games of the Stanley Cup playoffs. He was shut down, of course, in Game 1. Much made of the fact he didn't get a shot in Game 1.
He's kind of made up for it since.
Oh, well, no shots in Game 1, so you look at the last 4 games, and he has, what did I say he had in this series? The last 4 games, he has 7 goals and 4 assists. I'd say that's output, and of course, when he's scoring, the Oilers are winning.
Well, while Brian Lewis sorts out these penalties, any other thoughts, Brad?
Well, Dan, like most series, you like to see a great series. You hate to see the end of a series be marred by these fights, but this is something that's been building for 3 or 4 games. We haven't seen many fisticuffs, and all of a sudden it erupts late in the 3rd period when the game is out of hand and the series is at an end.
Brad, I'd like to get a comment from you on Paul Coffey. He's a very controversial figure. There are a lot of people who say he's not a great defenseman. He's not a great player. Orr got a lot of that when he was playing the game in the early stages of his career. I'm one of those that disagree. I think he's just a great hockey player, and I've come to appreciate him from the Canada Cup onward this year. But as a defenseman who played this game very well for 17 years, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I've always been of the mind that when you're playing the game, if you've got the puck, you don't have to worry about playing defense. And the more that your team can control the puck and the more you can be on the offense, the less you have to play defense. And that was the philosophy or what Bobby Orr established, with the Boston Bruins in the 68, 69, 70s. And I think Paul Coffey's a perfect example. And right now, he's probably the finest defenseman in the National Hockey League, playing for the finest team. And what a combination that is, because he's always on the attack, and he's quick enough to recover. So I don't see very much, people saying that he's not defensive, because when he has to play defensive, he does a very, very good job.
Well, we look back at that great play in the Canada Cup where he paved the way for the winning goal with a great defensive move on a 2-on-1 break by the Soviets. Started the play back up the ice with that great acceleration of his, and within 15 seconds, the winning goal had been scored. 5-minute penalty has been handed out. It's up on the scoreboard to the Flyers. That is Dave Brown, and a double minor is going out to Jackson. And there's 4:38 left in the Stanley Cup playoff, unless lightning hits the Northlands Coliseum. And the Oilers, there you see Brian Propp. Had a great year, had a great, well, he's as much responsible for getting the Flyers this far as anybody. But as the ranks thinned out for the Philadelphia Flyers, as the injuries started to come, all of a sudden became all on Brian Propp's shoulders.
During the course of a game, there are little things that really set off a team. And, one of the things I think that the last time Edmonton had a 5-on-3 situation. And here it is, the game is 8-3, and Glenn Sather, he sends out all his gunners. The game is over, he sends it out, and that's very irritable thing for the Philadelphia Flyers to have to sit there and watch and say, wait a minute, this is getting to be a little bit of overkill, and we're going to do something about this.
And is that perhaps the reason why we saw Dave Brown out on the ice then?
That's probably a classic example of say, hey, boys, you want to make us look bad? We're going to come right back because we're not here to be embarrassed.
Well, you know, it's a little bit like sending a base runner to steal a base when you're leading 10-1 in a baseball game. That's almost insulting your opposition. So, but at the same time, can you blame the Oilers when they got all these guys going for records and trying to set records? And you never know when the next time you're going to get the opportunity to rewrite the record book the way this team seems to do at will.
They're just announcing the penalties now, and we'll run over them as soon as they have completed that. First of all, Marsh gets a 5-minute major for fighting, a 10-minute misconduct, and a game misconduct. Jackson gets a minor for roughing, a minor for unsportsmanlike conduct, and a 10-minute misconduct. Brown gets a major for fighting, a 10-minute misconduct, and McClelland a 10-minute misconduct and a game misconduct. So that's the way Brian Lewis handed out the penalties.
And he has really eliminated the people that were involved, sent them to the dressing rooms where they will remain the rest of the game. And I guess now we can settle down to finish the Stanley Cup playoff. A reminder, of course, that following the game, we'll have the celebrations, all of them, from the dressing room. There'll be a tale to tell down there. Well, what an awesome machine this Edmonton Oilers team is. Not very often you get as many superstars on a team.
Dan and Ron, you know, it's kind of interesting. You got a 4-on-4 situation, and the Gunners are out again. You know, they want to get that score up. If Philadelphia want to get some fights going, we're going to get a couple more goals.
So here we go with the teams each a man short. And Philadelphia control it. Wow. Taken out by Huddy. Now it's Poulin. Coffey broke that up. And number 7, Paul Coffey, works it to Curry, back to Coffey. Coffey just slides it in, and Howe takes over for the Flyers. Here the Oilers, Curry in forechecking, gets it loose to Gretzky, out to Lowe, a shot, and a glove save by Froese, and he held on to that.
Oh, they're hungry, aren't they? They want points. There's going to be no mercy shown at all by these Oilers. And Bob Froese has just had a long night. That was the 40th shot on goal. The Flyers have had just 21. Look at this one again as the pass comes out to Lowe, and he was throttled by the angle played by Froese as he came out of the crease.
Each team still a man short. By the way, Semenko is serving the double minor to Jackson because he has been ejected from the game and also was cut, so is probably being sewed up right now. Here's Dvorak for Philadelphia. Duran Sutter. And now Fogelin trying to clear it. Messier for Edmonton. The Oilers with an 8-3 lead. And now under 3.5 minutes away from their second straight Stanley Cup. Sutter steals it. Back to Hospodar. The shot wide of the target. And Messier starts back. Over to Fogelin. Fogelin flipping it in. Hospodar, who escaped from that altercation without getting any penalties, has it for the Flyers to Dvorak. Coffey steals it. Glove save by Froese on the short side on Coffey, and we're down to 2:58 left.
Well, Coffey cruising around deep in the zone on his off wing, and he floated in there and kind of picked it off. Playing deep as he is, he was looking for another point. Here it is. And he swings out in front. Froese just covered the angle. The shot looked like it was going to miss the net anyway or hit the netting. And Froese just halted further play.
Philadelphia from the face-off with Howe. Over to Poulin, ahead to Crossman. Flyers trailing by 5. Here's Poulin. Checked by Lindstrom. Now Huddy comes up with the puck for Edmonton. And here's Coffey to Hunter. Throws the stick save. Lindstrom couldn't get it in prompt. for the Flyers. Ahead to Crossman. Over to Zezel, who has just come onto the ice as the Flyers change on the fly. And it's back to Howe. Fuhr turns that aside. Zezel. Falling. Huddy comes up with it for Edmonton. And it's around to Gretzky. Each team still a man short. Over to Curry. Now to Huddy. 2 minutes left. Here's Gretzky. Checked, and the puck flips up over the boards at the Edmonton bench with 1:55 remaining.
Well, Grant Fuhr looking on from the goal as you also look at the team captain, Wayne Gretzky. His win tonight will be his 15th win of the playoffs. That ties the record for most wins in one playoff year. But that's all you can do with that one, because you need to win 15 games to win the Stanley Cup.
Here's Hospodar shooting it in. Fuhr clearing it, and Harry Curry for Edmonton to Gretzky. Here's number 99, Wayne Gretzky. And now he just circles back. The Oilers have an 8-3 lead, and Gretzky goes all the way back into his own end to give it to Coffey.
Now they're going to play keep away the rest of the way, Dan.
That's what they're doing. Dvorak intercepts. Now Hospodar holding it in to Ron Sutter. And Fogelin dropping it back. The Oilers have an 8-3 lead and are content to just kill the clock off now. Here's Curry. We're in the final minute. As Yeri Curry. Oh, a bump by Ed Hospodar. Coffey held it in, but Dvorak intercepts that. Dvorak to Craven. That shot wide. 40 seconds left. They're standing and cheering in Edmonton. Let's watch the Oilers win a Stanley Cup and listen to their fans. The Stanley Cup champions of 1985.
And the celebration starts as Glenn Sather is joined at the bench area by Peter Pocklington for the second straight year. The powerhouse of the National Hockey League, the Edmonton Oilers. They win the Stanley Cup Final Series 4-1. And it's interesting in looking back at the Stanley Cup, Brad, that the most difficult series they had was against the Los Angeles Kings in the opening round when they had to go to overtime twice and won the other game by just a goal in effect, a goal and an empty net goal. But the rest of it, a series against Chicago in which there were a couple of blowouts. Chicago came back, but then the Oilers came back and won 2 in a row to win that series. But it has been quite a year again for the Edmonton Oilers. And here's the traditional handshakes at center ice. Wayne Gretzky leading the way. Gretzky has just been announced as the Conn Smythe Trophy winner. So another honor to the great one, the living legend of the Edmonton Oilers, Wayne Gretzky. So the traditional handshakes at center ice. Grant Fuhr again. Hard to imagine this kid is just 4 years into his National Hockey League career the way he has played. The starting goaltender on 2 Stanley Cup championships already. There's Mark Napier. Well, I'll tell you, they are very, very difficult to beat and will be for a number of years, it would seem. And the celebration is on. And momentarily we'll have the presentation of the Stanley Cup. Brad?
Ron, it's it's a great evening and a great night for the people here in Edmonton. Back-to-back Stanley Cups, and they're still standing and applauding. And there's a look right now at Paul Coffey, who's one of the dominant players in this series. You got to give him a lot of credit. And the Edmonton players are now rushing down to watch the presentation and get as close as they can to that cup. And you can believe it, that they've earned it. They played a lot of hockey, and they're enjoying themselves to the fullest at this time.
Well, Paul Coffey moving in next to Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky has got it up high. Boy, look at the mob scene down on the ice surface. Wayne Gretzky has been presented by the president of the National Hockey League, John Ziegler, with the Stanley Cup.
Ron, looking into the crowd there right by that cup is a guy that I played with in Boston, Mike Krushelinski. And I'll tell you, this is probably his most happiest moment of his life. He finally got a piece of that cup. It's something that he hadn't got in Boston, and he's got a grin going from ear to ear. Mike, congratulations to you.
Celebrating into the night here in Edmonton. The Oilers are Stanley Cup champions from Edmonton. The Stanley Cup final on CTV.